Ocarina of Time. Change. Save. Okay. I have all already, I think. Actually, no, I don't have the dev team. I think it's called like newer team or something. Yeah, newer team. Okay. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Title. Hero of Law. By newer team. Go. Reset timer. Wait, my PlayStation controller. Get my GameCube controller, which should still work, I think. Hopefully. Okay. Interesting. I guess. Obviously didn't like that I disconnected my PlayStation controller. Or something, I don't know. That used to be an issue, but I guess it's back? Or something? I don't know. I think everything should be back up, right? Both YouTubes. Let me try to open the ROM. I should still have it, I think. Zelda OT Hero of Law. Hero of Law.z6. Okay. Please move in. Pause you, hide you. Hold it like this. Okay, so I need to use my tiny D-pad on my controller. Okay. It's time. It's time to go to court. Oh, chat. Okay. Settings. Sound. Okay, so like nothing really. Okay. Get my timer. And start. It crashes instantly. Okay, auto saves. Cool. Oh, I need my controller overlay. Wait. Wait. It's so quiet. Do you think they forgot? Yeah, I forgot to turn on my controller overlay. Forget royal visitation. No one could make such a blunder, princess. Well, I guess I should just go in then. Oh no! March 17th, 9:37 a.m. Hyrule Grand Court. Defendant lobby number 3. Alright, give me a second. I need to turn my controller overlay. Turn you off. It should be under widescreen gameplay, right? Yeah. Then if I go back to you, it should pick up, right? Yeah. Okay. You'd think that after so many years of doing this, I'd be used to the stress. So why am I shaking? Yeah, I guess it's a lot worse when your friend's life is on the line. Come on, I gotta look professional. She can't see you like this. Give me a second, I got a phone call. Okay. Speaking of her, though, where is she, anyways? Hey, you over there. Huh? Well, what is it, attorney? The trial isn't starting yet, but it will be soon, right? Would you happen to know why my client isn't here yet? I didn't get to speak much with her when she was arrested, so I was hoping I could at least exchange a word with her now. Hahaha, well, you weren't the only one with the idea. I believe she is currently in the prosecutor's lobby. She wanted to talk to her as well, or he wanted to talk to her as well. What? What is up with this guy? He bars me from the crime scene and blocks my detention center visits, and now this? Not to worry. She will definitely be here before the trial. Great. It'll be a joyous 5 minutes indeed. But there's nothing I can do but wait. Autosave. Sometime later. Okay, this is ridiculous. How much longer can he keep her? Ah, see? There she is. No need to get all worked up. Is something wrong? Did I hear shouting? So much for looking professional. No. Don't worry. Everything's fine. This is Milan. Ever since we met in Hyrule Castle Town all those years ago, we've been great friends. Her heart's in the right place. I know she cared deeply about her father. If everything's fine, why do you look so worried? Well, how did the investigation go? Did you find anything? Yes, the investigation. I found tons of groundbreaking stuff. Particularly that my opponent's a real scumbag. What did the prosecutor want from you anyways? Well, it was mostly just threats. He kept explaining in detail what will happen to me if I'm found guilty. Doesn't sound like a vital discussion that needed to happen right before the trial. He probably just did that so we wouldn't have so much time to talk. You believe in me, right? I didn't do it. I'd never. Of course I believe you. Why wouldn't I? I have no reason to suspect you of being some sort of criminal, I think. Of course. Although, I'll be honest, things aren't looking very good right now. Sigh. What's that you got there? Oh, this is just a pictograph of my father I carry around. I just can't believe he's gone. I wish I knew how to cheer her up right now. Oh, can I show her my badge? Oh my... it actually worked. Hold up. Oh no. That would've been funny if you could just show it to her. Not very good at handling emotional clients. Hey, you know, that pictograph could be really useful for the trial. Oh, how so? Well, you look so happy together. I could present it to show that you two had a great relationship. You really think so? Oh, well, here you go then. Long pictograph added to the court record. At least I'll be walking in there with something other than my badge. Well, wait, we shouldn't just be idly chatting. Anyways, there's not much time left. I know it's hard to talk about, but could you tell me what actually happened? I don't stand much of a chance if I don't know your version of the story. I understand. Unfortunately, there's... The trial is starting. Defendant attorney, please enter the courtroom at once. Uh-oh. Shouldn't have said that stuff about having no chance. Alright. Everything will be fine. Prosecutor has been playing me for a fool since this began, But sooner or later, his arrogance will be his undoing. Let's head inside. My name is Link. I've been a defense attorney for the last 7 years. I've won my fair share of cases and lost some too, but this one is personal. There's so much at stake here. Not only do I have to save Milan's life, I've got to find out who did this to Talon. Talon, he was always so kind. He didn't deserve this. I need to do him justice. I can't lose this. Of course, the prosecutor is Ganon. Court is now in session for the trial of Milan of Longlawn Ranch. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I'd sincerely doubt that, Dragmire. What were they thinking pitying me against some pathetic kid? Pathetic kid? Still your tongue. You bring shame upon the fine color of your hair, vile woman. Before long, the world shall know the horrible deeds you've committed. Let us not prolong the inevitable. Shall we begin? No, this court is no place to be exchanging insults. Since prosecution seems ready as well, let's hear their opening statement. The opening statement shall also be the closing one. The girl did it. It's obvious. She killed her own father in cold blood. Also that she can have the ranch to herself. That's cool how they like animation and stuff. Couldn't wait for the old fool to die, naturally, could you, you greedy little rat? It's badass. Objection! Your Honor, you can't allow this man to verbally abuse the defendant like this. Objection! Gosh, she committed murder, kid. She deserves every bit of scorn she gets. I do believe a little less commentary wouldn't go amiss. Blah. I assure you, old man, you will change your opinion once you see all of the damning evidence. Who is this guy? How can he speak to the judge like that? Ganondorf Dragmire. Looks like I've been lucky to avoid meeting this man until now. The stories I've heard about him must be true. A boorish barbarian of a man hailing from the Gerudo province. Apparently, he prides himself on the nearly clean streak he's cultivated for decades, all while disrespecting everyone in the court, including the judge. I've even heard some attorneys refer to him as the King of Evil. Definitely has the look, at the very least. Who wears full armor to court? Very well, please present your case to the court. You don't seem like me, or you seem not to like me talking, so I'll just get the detective to present the basics. Bring Impa of the Sheikah Force to the stand. Well, here we go, the first battle. I know Impa, she's quite a competent detective. Which worries me. Please let her have made a mistake just this once. Alright, state your name and whatever it is you pretend to do. You never change, do you, prosecutor? Any possible change would be for the worse. Now, stop wasting time. Name and occupation. Oh man. Very well. I am Impa, head detective of the Sheikah Forest, Homicide Division. True for now, at least. Well, what are you waiting for? Start talking. You were the one assigned to this case, so you know all about it. What calamity has befallen our fair kingdom? Still can't be bothered to give a proper opening statement? I suppose I can do the prosecutor's job for him this once, for the sake of an unbiased look. Please go ahead, detective. The incident happened early yesterday morning on Long Lawn Ranch, a local supplier of goods located just south of Castletown. The current owner of the homestead, Alan, was found dead in his ranch house. A tragic loss for our kingdom for sure. I have seen the man around Castletown a number of times, delivering goods. Quite, the owner was a rather important figure in the local community. In any case, we were alerted to the scene of the murder by the Royal Guard, who were there on official business. Official business? What kind? As I understand, the ranch provides the kingdom with vital services. To ensure it was operating as it should, and as a gesture of appreciation, the crown orders a visitation to the ranch every year. I see. Scheduled annual visitation or visit. Continue, detective. When the Shrika Force arrived, they found the victim bleeding out onto the floor. Next to him lay his daughter, Milan, breathing but unresponsive. After a thorough investigation, we arrested her as she was deemed the only possible culprit. That about covers the gist of what happened. Very nice and sufficient. Keep that up, and perhaps you will keep your job. Oh, I don't think the good detective here has to worry much about that, given she is the head of the department. Which reminds me, why is the head of detectives herself on a case like this? Were the other detectives unavailable? That would be because I've been assigned to this case by order of the King of Hyrule himself. The King himself assigned you? That doesn't happen very often, does it? You're correct, Your Honor. I am not usually involved in field work like this. This time, however, the King felt it necessary because of who is involved. Who is involved? Is the death of a ranch worker really such a concern for the King? Well, as I said, Longline Ranch is a very important supplier of goods, to be sure. But that's not who I meant. I imagine the King wanted the top investigator on the job because it was the royal princess herself who discovered the crime scene. Order. I will have order. The royal princess Zelda witnessed the crime. And there you have it. This case rides on the princess's own words. I doubt it would be out your own royalty. This is bad. I can't really object to that. Very well, if the princess is testifying today, it better that we don't make her needlessly wait. Detective, please testify exactly why the defendant was arrested. The reason for arrest. It is with regret that I agree with Dragmire. All the evidence points towards this girl being the culprit. We determined that the murder definitely took place inside of the ranch house. There were only 3 people on the ranch: the victim, the defendant, and a worker who was an alibi for the time of the crime. The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding out onto the floor. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon. Without a doubt, that's what was used to kill the victim. She seems like such a bright girl. It is most unfortunate. Your Honor, I would like to submit these pieces of evidence to the court. First, I have an autopsy report performed by the Crown's top coroner. Here's what we determined to be the murder weapon, which we took from the defendant's hands. To make sure we had the correct weapon, we conducted a very thorough investigation. Naturally, we searched everywhere and thoroughly examined the ranch and its vicinity. Nothing unusual was found, but to be safe, we also checked the ranch's inventory list to see where anything was missing. The list matched, and the item was found on the ranch exactly, and nothing but the saw had fresh blood on it. That does sound quite compelling. This must have been truly terrifying scene. Dying from a wound made by a weapon like this is extremely painful. This only helps to prove the defendant's viciousness. At this rate, they're going to paint Milan as some heartless monster. There's one more thing I feel I should mention for the sake of completeness. Shortly after we arrived at the ranch, a courier showed up to take some milk shipments. Of course, business must go on. Is this really necessary to enter into evidence, though? The shipments did end up leaving the ranch, so I feel it bears mentioning. Were the contents checked before you let them go? Naturally, who did you take us for? Even though the workers handling the shipments did get quite worked up about it, we cracked all the boxes open to check what was inside. In the end, it did turn out to only be milk bottles, so we let them through. Very well, thank you for your thoroughness, Detective. Milk shipments added to the court records. So, what happens now? Well, this is where I step in and perform a cross-examination. Oh, great. How does that work? Huh? Could you explain what you're going to be doing? Can't hurt to go over this again. Sure, why not? The witness will repeat her testimony. I'll be able to scroll back and forth through individual statements by pressing A and B or with left, right, D-pad, whatever. They'll just repeat it as many times as you want. That's right. I have to consider every little detail, can't miss a thing. If I want to use more info or something, I can use L or Z to press a statement and ask the witness a question. Grill them for info. Yep. Once the witness has come up with an answer on the spot, if they're lying, prompting more info can make them slip up. Less importantly though, if I find something that doesn't line up with the evidence, I can press R to bring up the court record. Court record is basically a list of all the evidence, right? Yes, I can open it anytime if I need to recheck the facts. After choosing the contradicting item, I'll press C up to raise an objection and present my doubt to the court. Oh, I can only present evidence but profiles as well. Or I cannot only... whatever. Profiles. The court record contains a list of all the people involved too. I can switch between evidence and profiles with R. If I need to review what's been said recently, I can also press start to see a history of messages. I see, that makes sense. Is the defense done whispering? Sorry. If he's so upset about it, why doesn't he just press C right to skip ahead? The defense is ready to cross-examine the witness. Ugh, a waste of time. I sincerely hope that you're not implying that standard court procedure is a waste of time, Mr. Dragmeyer. In any case, we're ready. Defense, please begin the cross-examination. Reason for arrest. It is with regret that I agree with Dragmeyer. All the evidence points towards this girl being the culprit. We determined that the murder definitely took place inside of the ranch house. There were only 3 people on the ranch: the victim, the defendant, and a worker who has an alibi for the time of the crime. The defendant was found unconscious right in front of the victim, who was bleeding out onto the floor. Furthermore, she was holding a weapon without a doubt, and that's what was used to kill the victim. She seems like such a bright girl, it is most unfortunate. See anything wrong yet? Well, usually it's difficult to find anything wrong with the basic facts on the case. That said, I do think I saw one small thing. Really? That's great. It sure is, because I've got poked a lot of holes I can find before the princess gets here. How do I... press it out? Okay. What makes you think she's the culprit? Objection. She's just about to tell you. Keep quiet and listen. Oh, right. Sorry. Indeed, as I was saying... And how did you do that? It's quite simple. There was no blood found anywhere else. Had the victim been attacked at some other location, we'd expect a trail of it leading to the scene. Couldn't the killer just have cleaned it up? Or cleaned it all up? Certainly not. Path to the ranch house along the ranch is not paved in any way. Cleaning blood off the ground would require disturbing the soil. Naturally, we found nothing of the sort. But there wouldn't have been enough time to pull that off anyways. Likely true. Alright, sounds like the location of the crime is pretty firm, but I'm not giving up yet. There are only three people. 3 people, you say? I guess that would have to be Mr. Ingo. Let me stop you before you start getting too excited. If you had listened to the rest of what the detective said, you would have... you noticed she mentioned an alibi. Indeed, we're pretty certain that the ranch worker couldn't have been involved. Well, what is this alibi then? You might remember that I brought up some outgoing milk shipments. Well, the worker Ingo was in charge of them. He left the ranch house first thing in the morning and was busy preparing the shipments after that. Is that so? Surely he could have gotten away from that for one quick little murder. Well, this isn't just a quick little murder, as you so crudely put it. He'd have to have taken steps to hide his involvements too. There was definitely not enough time for that. Unfortunately, I agree. Preparing a shipment is a lot of work. You have to milk the cows, clean the bottles, pour the milk out into them, arrange them all into the crates, and finally load it all up onto a wagon. Usually I had to do it together with Father to finish before the courier arrived. The shipments were already ready. We arrived at the ranch, or when we arrived at the ranch. When we checked the boxes, they were all fully loaded with filled milk bottles. So this Ingo was able to do the work of 2 people all on his own? Isn't that a bit odd? Odd or not, he evidently just did that. Clearly, he's a man dedicated to his job. Or perhaps the girl and her father are just very inefficient. This whole thing seems awfully suspicious if you ask me, but I guess I have nothing to dispute with it. Defendant was found unconscious right next to the lab. Alon fainted? Correct. We couldn't get her to wake up for a long time. Eventually we determined to administer a healing fairy so that she could be questioned. I guess finding the body was just that much of a shock, huh? Huh. Probably just pretending, trying to make it look like she was merely found the body. In an event, or in any event. Pretty much his only weapon. And how could he be sure of this? Look at the autopsy reports. Deep, irregular wound made with a sharp metal object. Why are you holding it? The saw was the only sharp impalement in the ranch house that could produce such a wound. And as I mentioned, we also looked closely at all other sharp things on the ranch. None had recent blood on them. That still doesn't necessarily mean that the saw was the murder weapon. Maybe the real culprit hid the real one. Oh yeah, prove it then. Show us the real murder weapon. Well, I definitely don't have any way to do that. Still, something bothers me about that saw. So you have nothing? What a waste of time. She sure is. You know each other or you've known each other for years. Yet she murdered her father in cold blood. How curious. Perhaps you're just bad judge character, both of you. No way, just give me some more time and I'm going to prove it. Huh. Anything wrong yet? Usually difficult to find anything wrong, but yeah, I know. Autopsy report: deep irregular wounds made with a sharp metal object. Victim died from blood loss no later than 8 a.m. Supposed murder weapon found on Melantan, clean of blood. If it says clean, it says clean of blood though. Unless they clean the blood off of it, which wouldn't make sense. Rake, garden hose, bucket, hammer, knife. So I mean, there's knives. There's clearly weapons. There's other things that could have done it. Wood saw, saddles, axe. There's axes too. Sights. Temperament, defendant in the case. The victim, owner of Long Lawn Ranch. Blah blah blah. Prosecutor signed of the case, rude to others, easily angered. Other detectives assigned to investigate the case. Determined the murder definitely took place inside the ranch. There were only 3 people. Was holding a weapon without a doubt. That was used for I think that's not true. Wasn't it C up? What's my C up? C down? How can you be so sure of this? Okay. How do I skip it? Oops. I see it doesn't work. Why doesn't my C up work? I can present it. Controller binded? Hold up. It's binded, right? Port one. Yeah, it should work. I think. I cannot. Why can't I present it? Oops, didn't mean to press it. And if it's literally just saw it being clean of blood, that's like terrible detective work. If I could even present it. Why can't I see up? I'm so confused. Port one. This is my right controller, right? Hold up. Save state it. One second. Restart RetroArch. Also gonna double check on something I played. Oh, and I have not been playing a Zelda on this. Where is there something I can easily check? Sure, Sands of Time. Why not? I should be able to see up instantly if I still have my save. Oh, RetroArch does not seem to like Sands of Time. Oh, there you go. Let me see. Yeah, I guess my CF is just unbound. Am I using the right controller? Let's see. Profile. Select profile. Okay, yeah, that's L. I'm aware of that. Okay. I don't know why my C up is unbound though. It's weird. Desktop. You. What's not opening? Thank you, program is opening. Why not opening? Is it like open taskbar still? Oh man. Audio is crunchy. Okay, it's still open, that's why. Right now it should work. Yeah, it works again. Yeah, my CF's just unbound, okay. It's weird. What is still with the menu? Why is it like half? Okay, let's restart again. Okay, so the issue is my C up is unbound. I don't know why, but it is. The controls, that would be this one? No. How did I do C up? Left shoulder. Left shoulder. Wait, what? Wait, oh. I forgot. Okay. I know, let's C down. Okay, that one makes sense. That one C down. So then C up should... Yeah, C up should be C up. What? Yeah, because even my bombs don't work. Or my nuts. Okay, something's definitely wrong. Definitely not related to this. Maybe there's that. No. Maybe that? No. So I know I used both port 1 and port 2. But for some reason they're not working. Input, retropad. Is that it? Is it just those unbound? Okay, yeah, it just those unbound, okay. Okay. It's dumb rhetoric stuff. Well, it seems a fairly large oversight. I just want to make sure of something. The statement the saw is currently in is somehow you found it at the crime scene. That's correct. That's strange, considering how much the victim bled out and how deep his wounds was. Why is there no blood on the supposed murder weapon? Huh, is that all you have? Huh? Naturally, the prosecution has an explanation for why the saw is clean. Behold, this cloth was found in the defendant's other hand. As you can plainly see, it is stained with blood and you're just getting your fingerprints all over it. The defendant simply wiped the murder weapon in a futile attempt to hide her involvement. If Blonde is trying to hide her involvement, why did she just leave the crime, or why didn't she just leave the crime scene? Well, obviously she was trying to hide the body before the royal visitation arrived at the ranch. Unfortunately for her, it just so happened that the delegation arrived quite a bit earlier than scheduled. In a panic, she quickly wiped the saw off and pretended to faint to make it look like she stumbled upon the scene. Young lady, things are not looking very good for you right now. Court accepts the bloody cloth into evidence. So, what's the story with this cloth? Well, as I was doing a final check around the ranch, I noticed that part of the fence around the horse padlock was damaged. Not entirely sure when that happened, but sometimes one of the horses just gets a bit too rowdy, you know? Right. Anyways, I didn't want to bother Mr. Ingo about it, so I tried to cut up a new rail by myself and patched it up. But then the saw slipped and I cut my hand open. Oh goodness, are you okay? Well, it wasn't that bad. It did bleed quite a lot though, so I used the cloth to quickly bandage the wound. I was actually going into the ranch house to ask Father for help me with the fence. Ugh, a likely story. And impossible to verify now, of course. The Sheikah Forest had to use a ferry on the defendant to get her out of her supposed unconsciousness. I do have to give her some credit. She is one cunning woman. She knew that would explain a sudden lack of any wound on her hand. Oh yes, fairies are wonderful. Just the other day, I slammed my hand with a gavel and one took the pain off immediately. Great. Glad to know they're used for such important things. But dang it. Too bad there's no way to tell whose blood is on the cloth. I do believe this matter has been settled. I am ready to call my next witness. Uh-oh. Is that all I can get out of her? You've served your purpose, Sheikah. Now be gone. Fine, but you had best treat her highness with respect, or I'll see it too that you spend the night in the dungeons. Do not presume to threaten me, Sheikah. Night of darkness and solitude would be nothing but comfort for me. Is that so? Then perhaps we should fill the dungeon with lit candles for the occasion. They're glaring daggers at each other. If this doesn't end soon, we're all in trouble. Order, order. I'm sure we'll treat the princess with utmost respect. You may step down, detective. This case has already made me wary with all the pointless jabber. The time is ripe to deal the final blow. I call Her Highness Princess Zelda to Hyrule. Princess of Hyrule, then. We are pronouncing it. Is something the matter? Why is everyone quiet all of a sudden? Ah, Your Highness. I believe we're all just a bit uncertain on how to proceed. It is quite the honor to have such an esteemed guest in these halls. Blah. In the face of the law, the princess is no different from a peasant. Name and occupation now. The prosecution will behave. I will not have any derogatory statements directed at the princess. Derogatory. I simply wish not to waste any more time. We must employ proper procedure. Oh man. It is alright, detective. I believe the prosecution does have a point. In the eyes of the law, we are all equals. On the stand, I am just another witness. I should not be getting any special treatment. Very admirable, Your Highness. We can all rest easy knowing that Hyrule is destined to have such a wise monarch in its future. Yes, indeed. I eagerly await the day when our next ruler takes the throne and reshapes the kingdom in their image. You flatter me, prosecutor. Now then, I believe I was asked for my name and occupation. I am Zelda, current princess of Hyrule, and heir apparent to the throne. Marvelous, Your Highness. Before we begin, I would just like to know, why were you at Long Long Ranch to witness this terrible incident? Ah, it is simple, really. Long Long Ranch is Hyrule Castle's town's biggest food supplier. Not only that, but the ranch also equips Hyrule Royal Guards with the finest of horses. Every year, the royal family makes a visit as a gesture of goodwill and to ensure the quality of the steeds. Oh, I didn't know that your horses were used by the royal guard. Yeah. Yep. We work very hard every year to make sure they're in the best possible condition. Father loved to boast about it to the other ranch owners. Huh. Knowing Talon, I'm sure he did. How unfortunate the ranch may no longer meet the crown's high standards under new management. The royal family has a backup, I trust? We are looking for one. Naturally, those standards are quite high. Yes, of course. Now then, please describe what you saw on the day of the incident. Very well. Here I go. The scene behind the door. I arrived at Long Long Ranch a little after 8 a.m., accompanied by my loyal guards. I remember being surprised at how quiet everyone was. There was nobody there to welcome us. I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house and went inside. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene was unveiled. The defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. I was overcome with fear and I screamed. I will never forget what I saw that day. I heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind. I cannot believe she would commit such horrible violence. What? Oh my, you saw the very moment the victim was killed? And there you go. Decisive testimony. As there is no need to doubt the princess's statement, I call for the judge to make a ruling right away. Objection. Hey now, hold on. I didn't get to cross-examine the witness yet. You haven't, fool, because there is no need. Did you not hear one word of what I said? Objection! Didn't you say that we should follow all the procedures and treat the princess like any other witness? This is the defense's right. You complete. I believe the defense has a point. They do have every right to perform a cross-examination no matter who is testifying. I was quite looking forward to this part myself. I've only ever read about court proceedings in the royal library. That being said, I will not tolerate any recklessness accusations towards the princess. Is that clear? Naturally, Your Honor. How am I going to cross-examine the princess? This isn't going to end well. What's gotten into the prosecutor? That seemed like a rather intense outburst. Well, I do have a guess. Oh? Because of the princess's statement, it's possible that Dragmeyer didn't have an opportunity to discuss her testimony with her. That might mean that his testimony is a surprise even to him. This could be my chance. Before we begin, there is just one thing that caught my attention. I believe the princess mentioned seeing some kind of glass bottle at the crime scene. That would be this, I presume. Why, yes, that is exactly it. Why do you just have all this? What is that? Oh, this is the bottle of perfume that father intended to gift to Her Highness when she arrived. He quickly rode out of town to get it at the last moment. We didn't know that the princess was coming instead of the king until only about 2 hours before the visitation. Oh, how thoughtful. He really did not need to bother himself so. As fascinating as this all is, the prosecution doesn't believe it's relevant to the case. It is good to have a full picture of the crime scene. The defense requests the bottle be accepted into evidence. Blah. Desperate to latch onto every little thing, are you? Whatever. You can add it to the evidence if it'll make you happy. No skin off my teeth. In that case, the court accepts this bottle into evidence. Now then, defense, begin your cross-examination. Scene behind the doors. I arrived at Long Long Ranch a little after 8 AM, accompanied by my loyal guards. These guards were with Her Highness. Why were they not called as witnesses? We did question the guards naturally. Apparently, they didn't get to see anything relevant. I was the only one to enter the crime scene. After seeing what was inside, I stood guard and insisted that no one be allowed inside until the Sheikah force arrived. I have read the preserving of the scene is vital. Quite correct. I'm sure the guards were absolutely thrilled with this order. Please proceed, a witness. I remember being surprised at how quiet everyone was. There was nobody there to welcome us. Have you conducted these royal visitations in the past, Your Highness? No. This was the first one. Until last year, my father was always the one to visit Long Long Ranch. However, he decided I had to start preparing for all the royal duties that await me. And so I was to do it this time. You will doubtlessly perform admirably as ruler when the time comes. What happened when you got to the ranch house? I could sense that something was wrong. I opened the door to the ranch house and went inside. And? What then? Stop interrupting and let her get to the point. Defense? I believe it was clear about not badgering the witness. Drat, I need to calm down. The room was mostly empty. There was a table with some kind of crystal bottle on top of it. You paid attention to something like that after seeing a murder princess? Well, I spent a rather long time in there waiting for the Sheikah force to arrive. Plus, that bottle is quite beautiful. It just stood out. But in front of the table, a terrifying scene was unveiled. Defendant hacked at the ranch owner's chest with the saw she was holding. You were there at the exact time of the murder, Your Highness? That is correct. That's impossible, you're lying. Defendant will curb her outbursts. You're addressing royalty. This is really bad. What now? Ask about the crime scene, I guess. Where were the victim and the killer at this time? The ranch owner was in front of the little table that is directly across from the entrance door. The defendant was right in front of him and quickly fainted after her attack. A large pool of blood started forming where the victim was. I had a rather good view of the whole scene. Right. It is as unfortunate as it is fortunate that you could see the whole thing in such detail. Now, please continue. Ask about what was outside. Are you sure there wasn't anyone else at the ranch, Your Highness? No, the place looked empty. Although I did later see a worker pull up a loaded wagon where the courier came asking about milk shipments. He caused a little bit of a scene when the Sheikah Forest started inspecting it. That worker must have been somewhere else on the ranch, I suppose. The ranch is pretty large. Said worker was inside a building on the other side. It's quite understandable she wouldn't have seen him until later. Dreads really isn't giving me a whole lot to work with. I think I already asked about the crime scene, didn't I? I was overcome with fear that I screamed. I will never forget what I saw that day. Are you sure you got a good look then, Your Highness? You didn't look away in panic? Princess was very brave to take control of the situation the way she did. There is no need to doubt what she saw. Yes, I suppose what she did was admirable. If only we had arrived earlier. Your Highness, don't blame yourself for this. If you'd arrived earlier, you would have been the one that got attacked. Huh. So, you would have lashed out at someone or anyone trying to stop you, huh? Despicable. That's not what she meant, and you know it. Princess, please go on. Very well. Heard that Talon and his daughter were incredibly kind, I cannot blame blah blah. Trust your heart, Your Highness. You know Milan didn't do this. What nonsense. Her heart? What do her organs have to do with anything? Oh, of course. Evidence and testimony be damned. Just because we feel the defendant must be innocent. Oh, well, if you're sure, then I declare... have you gone senile, old man? It was just a joke. Much like the arguments the defense has been presenting. Can't believe the princess would lie like this. Yeah, it really is shocking. You don't believe her, right? If she's the princess, that means nothing. I didn't do it. To trust authority or your best friend. I'll need something very concrete to disprove what the princess is saying. I mean, if she saw it happen, she would have seen that she cleaned the weapon. I think, right? That only makes sense. I can't believe she would commit such a horrible violence. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Victim died but lost no later than 8 a.m. Didn't she say she arrived after 8? At some point? Yeah. Arrived Blanche a little after 8 a.m. And then the autopsy says no later than 8. Has to be this. Your Honor, Your Highness, I believe I found something that doesn't quite match up with the facts. How dare you question the princess? You will let the defense speak, prosecutor. I think I see why he so desperately wanted to prevent this cross-examination now. Your Highness, you stated that you arrived at the ranch shortly after 8 a.m., correct? Yes, the visit was scheduled for 8:30 exactly, but we were quite a bit early. I see, that makes something you mentioned quite impossible. As stated by the autopsy report, the victim definitely died before 8 a.m. You couldn't have seen the defendant attack the ranch owner, because the victim was already dead by then. Order, order. Yes, you really caught her in a lie. Your Highness, what is the meaning of this? While I wholeheartedly respect and assert the crown, I will nonetheless not tolerate lies in my court. I have not lied, I suppose I did not see the exact moment it happened. What? That's a... Yeah, I'm not a liar, but I guess I did lie. Jesus Christ. I guess I only thought I did. Princess, this is a matter of life and death. I definitely saw the defendant there, though, along with the body. There's no one else who could have done it. I remember all of the other details correctly. The body's on the floor of the pool of blood. You have to believe me. Perhaps it's be best if Her Highness revises her testimony. That's not good. There's still not enough doubt to overturn this testimony. I'll have to find something else, or this case will be over. What I actually saw. I'm sorry for embellishing the truth a little bit. I did not see the actual moment of the attack, but it had happened. No, but it had to have happened shortly before I went into the ranch house. Miss Malone and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must be the culprit. See, you only saw the aftermath of the scene and not the actual crime being committed. Very well. Hopefully there are no issues in your testimony this time. Defense, it is time for your cross-examination. Naturally, Your Honor. Dragmire looks pretty angry. Bet he didn't expect such a blatant contradiction to pop up. If I could just find another one like that, the prince's testimony would become completely untrustworthy in the eyes of the judge. What I actually saw, that's cool. Yeah, a little bit. Why did you do that, Your Highness? There's a life on the line here. I really am sorry. I suppose I got a bit too excited about being a witness in a actual murder trial. Really now? Most people hate testifying. Yes, well, the life of a princess is rather boring, you know. This is quite the break from the routine for me. Should just get a hobby then. I did not actually see the moment of attack. In that case, it can't be conclusively proven that the defendant did it. Defense, why do you exhaust your single brain? Defense, did you just exhaust your singular brain cell on that last contradiction you found? There's a death mountain's worth of evidence pointed to the defense. And just because no one saw the actual moment of the crime doesn't mean anyone else could have done it. I think you're making a death mountain out of a death molehill. Before blah blah. Yeah. How could you be so sure of that, princess? Well, when I entered the ranch house, the victim still had the murder weapon embedded into his body. What? Is obviously what that means, is it not? The killer did not even have enough time to try to hide the weapon. Yes, I might have not seen the murder firsthand, but I must have been very close to doing so. Oh my. This seems like a very important detail. I think it would be advisable for Her Highness to amend her testimony. Certainly, Your Honor. Interesting. Quagmire certainly doesn't look very happy about this development, does he? Thinking about it, I might just know why. That's 100% the thing I have to present evidence for. Murder weapon was still stuck inside the victim's body after all. That doesn't necessarily mean that my client was the one to do it, though. What if somebody else snuck in before Milan and the princess arrived? Well, I suppose. Along the ranch is surrounded by high walls, and the only way in is through the self-locking gate. Not very many people have a key to that gate, just the personnel and the crown. Well, someone else could have forced their way in. But if you wish to propose such a possibility, you must sustain it with evidence. Do you have any proof that anyone else showed up in the ranch house before the princess? I guess technically I do. Maybe. I guess I don't have the guy's profile, so I can't. I don't have anything of the sorts. There must be another angle I can attack this from. Very well, witness. Since the defense has wisely chosen to stay silent, please continue your testimony. Swan and her father were the only ones at the scene of the crime, so she must be the culprit. Are you sure Milan was the only person there other than the victim? From what I recall, there's an upstairs room at the ranch. What if someone was hiding there? Don't be stupid, defense. If someone was hiding up there, the Sheikah force would have found them. I stood guard at the door the entire time. No one could have left. What if they jumped out a window? Don't be ridiculous. I didn't read it. Damn it. Actually, those windows can't even be opened. They'd have to break one to leave. Right. Well, this is a little more plausible than the last testimony she gave. Yes, I suppose it matches the detective's account, doesn't it? Still, I feel like something here sticks out like a sore thumb. It's 100% this. Found in her hand. I believe I found another reason to doubt the witness's words. It seems the prosecution sees what I'm getting at. There was a bloody cloth discovered at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has argued before that it was used to wipe the saw clean. If the princess saw the saw lodged into Talon's body and the crime scene was left intact, then it wouldn't have been wiped. Well, Prosecutor Dragmire, care to explain? This is most perplexing. Your Highness, are you sure that's what you saw? Well, maybe the princess decided to pull the saw out in the valiant yet futile attempt to save the victim and wipe the blade clean? That would be almost like framing the defendant. Of course I did no such thing. I made sure the crime scene stayed intact. I guess I must have made up the memory. Jesus Christ. I guess I must have made up the memory about the saw sticking out of Mr. Talon as well. You idiotic girl. Do you even realize what you've done through your bumbling? I am sorry. I was just so excited to stand as a witness in court just this once. Whenever I try to tell my father about anything, he always seems so disinterested. Just this once, I wanted to feel listened to. The defendant, it is clear that she did it. I just wanted to play a larger part in her capture. And I hate Zelda in this. I'm sorry for the trouble I have caused you all. She's like an absolute brat for no reason. Your Highness, the court is no place for silly games. As it stands, I'm afraid we will have to strike your statements from the court records completely. Yes, I did it. Prosecution lost their key witness. No, please wait. I have more to say. I was wrong about the crime scene. I still have not testified about what I saw afterwards. Ugh. I would even care about that. It's best that you leave and stop damaging my case with your idiocy. Even if you are not interested in my words, you might be interested in the evidence I found. Oh, what? Huh? Evidence? Of course. While the Sheikah Force investigated inside the ranch house, I looked around the rest of the ranch on my own. Sheikah, did you know about this? Of course I did. You did? I'll have your head for this. Order, order. What is the meaning of this, detective? Why have you withheld this from the court? It's quite simple. Oh, what's up, Dip? Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. Hope your stream went well. What's up, Cindy? It's quite simple. The princess specifically requested to present her findings on her own. Gotta run? Alright, I appreciate the raid and run. Hope that your stream was well. And I hope that you're doing well, Cindy. What? And you agreed to this? This court is not some playground where children decide when evidence should be presented just because they have a crown. He's being rude about it, but I can't help but agree with Dragmire on this one. Also, I don't really buy this story. There's no way Impa would have allowed this. Believe me, I wasn't thrilled with the request either. However, after seeing the evidence in question, I didn't think it would be at all important to this case. Thus, I let the princess have her fun. This is highly, highly irregular. Not sure how to feel about this. Prosecutor? Blah. Naturally, I object to this nonsense. I think you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing well. And Zelda's been fun. I'm playing a ROM hack that essentially is the Phoenix Wright games, but inside of Ocarina of Time as a ROM hack. It's really cool. If the detective thinks it's irrelevant, then this is probably just a waste of time. All the evidence points to the defendant. It's still clear she did it, even without a witness at the scene. I see. Awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. Defense? What do we do? If we object to presenting the evidence, then Dragmire loses his key witness. Plus, whatever the princess presents could be bad for our case too. So we should agree with the prosecution? Well, on the other hand, we don't really have much to go on. This could be our only lead left. Well, don't keep us waiting. Surely you won't throw away all the progress you've made thus far. What do I do? I guess request it. I really hope this is the right choice. The defense requests that the evidence be presented. What? While I agree that the situation is irregular, we should still examine all evidence available. It would be silly to dismiss it as irrelevant without even seeing what it is. I do believe you have a point, defense. However, I must warn you, in order to admit this piece of evidence into the court record, the princess's statement that she found it somewhere away from the scene has to be admitted as testimony. Yes, Your Honor, I am very aware. Defense wishes to give the princess just one more chance. Order. Very well then. Your Highness, please testify once more about the new piece of evidence you found during your own investigation. Thank you. I will not let you down this time, I promise. Princess should understand the gravity of the situation at hand now. I just hope this new evidence isn't damaging to our case. My findings. I wish to express my most heartfelt apologies for my mistake in the earlier testimony. Upon entering the ranch house, I saw the defendant passed out in front of the victim, who was bleeding out. I stood guard at the entrance of the ranch house until the Sheikah force arrived. Once the Sheikah started investigating the crime scene, I decided to take a look around the ranch. While I was walking near the silo, I noticed a strong odor in the air. I had to stop to see where it was coming from. I followed the scent and found a burned out fire nearby and a small, nearly empty bottle of lamp oil. I, of course, took the bottle straight to the head detective. I mean, that does kind of seem not really helpful. And here it is, the oil bottle I found. Is something wrong? Oh no, this might actually be completely irrelevant. Yes, well... Of course there is, foolish girl. That has nothing to do with anything. Your great finding is some random fire on a ranch? Please. What's next? Are you going to declare every rake on the premise suspicious? Well, prosecution will calm down. This is bad. Your Honor, despite the fact that this evidence might not seem to add anything at this moment, the defense still asserts its right to cross-examination. Some straws have been grasped. Objection. I must insist on the charade defense. Princess has merely recounted the same view of the crime scene as the head detective. You haven't been able to find any contradictions in her statements. I believe there might be a way to tie the princess's new evidence into the case. Ridiculous. Regardless of what the prosecution thinks, the defense does have a right to a cross-examination. The court submits the oil bottle into evidence. I just really hope this isn't a complete waste of time in defense, for both your sake and your client's. Okay. There's no need to press the princess on her apology. You already wasted the chance to throw away her testimony. Yes, defense. Please get to the point. Yikes. Is there anything else in the room? Only a beautiful little crystal bottle I mentioned before. Also is rather barren. Most of our things are on the top floor since the downstairs room is mostly used for ranch business these days. And the occasional game. Ah, of course. Dad's famous Kuko game. The good old days. Is the defense done reminiscing? There will be plenty of time to do that when the defendant's behind bars. I was just trying to distract myself from the fact that there's nothing to latch onto here. Did anything happen during that time? No, not that I recall. The guards did occasionally protest and ask me to let them take over, but I held my stance. While commendable in theory, standing in the same room as a dangerous killer isn't very wise. What if she woke up and lashed out at you? Sweet Hylia up above. That thought did not occur to me. Of course not, foolish girl. But the guards did stand close by. I would have been safe. Wonderful to see that. Wonderful to see how much faith our princess has in our royal guard. Yes, of course I do. In any case. He didn't just go home? The royal visitation was supposed to last a lot longer. Father did not expect us back at the castle until much later. I came to the ranch to examine the horses, so I suppose I could at least do that in the meantime. How long did it take the Sheikah to arrive at the scene? It does not take very long to make the trip from Hyrule Castle Town to Longlong Ranch. I cannot imagine it took more than 20 minutes. That is pretty fast, although I imagine the fact that the princess was involved helped speed it up. Slowpokes, I would have been there in half that time, running backwards even. Gee, that's funny. Just because in actual Ocarina time, walking backwards is literally double your speed of walking forward. I suppose it's no surprise though, Hylian horses are naturally inferior to our fine Gerudo steeds. The Gerudo by horses, I'm gonna read it. Just don't bother, he's trying to rile you up. What was the smell like? Oh, it was awful. A really terrible stench. Surely you didn't mean to say that you found the smell of horse manure suspicious. Don't be ridiculous. The smell was not coming from the horses. Fire, huh? Now let me remind you, defense, that there are any number of reasons why fire could have been start. You can feel the cold grasp of death early in the morn. Princess, how long would you estimate the fire had been out before you found it? Ah, right. There was still smoke rising out from the ashes, so it must have been put out recently. So around the time of the crime. So someone prepared their breakfast there. I repeat, this fire is irrelevant. I think he realized the same thing I did. Well, who was it? Who could have lit that fire anyway? It would have been the ranch worker who was putting the milk shipments together at the time. It was most certainly him. If you really want to ask about his little barbecue, you might just get your wish soon. Doesn't sound like it was very appetizing. But without any concrete to pin it on him, he'll just be able to brush it off. Right, and she allowed you to present it? Well, I was the one to find it, and since I was going to the trial anyway... Utter ridiculousness. Yes. Please make it this the last time you do something like this, Your Highness. Proper procedures exist for a reason. Yes, I understand. Friends, I believe that is enough. Doesn't seem like you're getting any closer to finding a connection between this fire and the crime at all. Ugh. No, I suppose not, Your Honor. Naturally. I said this was a waste of time from the beginning. In that case, this cross-examination is over. Thank you for your time, Your Highness. I assume you have no more revelations to share with us? No, I do not. But you thought the fire would be important. Leave my sight. Enough. Your Highness, if you allow me to escort you back to Hyrule Castle. Very well. Now that the princess's little game is over, we should move this along. Prosecution stance is still the same, of course. We maintain that the evidence on its own is enough to convict the defendant. I do believe I am nearly ready to hand down my verdict. But, Your Honor, there's nothing that definitely shows that Malon committed the crime. This is all circumstantial. There's no way she could have killed her own father. This is an excellent point, defense. Prosecution has yet to elaborate on the defendant's motive. Patricide is not something a person commits lightly. I did briefly touch up on the subject during my opening statement, but naturally, prosecution is fully prepared to elaborate on the matter. I'd like to call my third witness. That has to be the ranch worker. Before calling him in, though, the prosecution requests a brief recess to prepare. I thought you said you were already prepared. Maybe he wants to double check that his witness won't pull anything weird like the princess did. Very well. I do believe a break would benefit us all. The court will reconvene after a 15-minute recess. Court is adjourned. Cool. March 17th, 11:17 a.m. It's not going all that well, is it? No, I think we went about as well as it could have, actually, given the circumstances. We exposed the worst of the princess's testimony as untrue. Ugh, I can't believe she just made stuff up like that. Yeah, that was surprising. Still, the issue is that we didn't manage to shake the court of the argument. If only there was anyone else in that house. Now, there's no need to look so glum. Detective, aren't you supposed to be escorting the princess back? The carriage is being prepared. I thought I'd drop by in the meantime. You really managed to make Dragmire furious, you know. I have? If you listen carefully, you might just be able to hear him ranting over in the prosecutor's lobby. It's funny. He's really giving his upcoming witness a grilling. Expect him to try to shut you down as fast as he can. Well, that would be worrying if I had anything he could shut down in the first place, I guess. Oh, but you do. What do you mean? Oh, come on now. I'm talking about the princess's grand discovery, of course. The fire? That I was unable to do anything with that? You really think it's relevant? Don't get me wrong. At present, I am convinced the girl did it. We investigated and came to this conclusion for a reason. But I'm willing to explore every possibility. That fire is definitely a bit strange, and I dare say it may be your only way out this time. If I may be so bold, I think you should press the next witness on that topic hard. As the only other person working on the ranch at the time, he is the only one who could have lit that fire. If he is hiding something, I think the court deserves to know. Thing is, the next testimony about the motive. It's going to be difficult to bring up the fire again without Dragmire objecting. You'll have to make it work. As much as I don't like it, she's right. There really isn't a whole lot else to go on here. Well, thank you. Don't mention it. One last thing. You, branch girl. Me? Try not to hold that testimony against the princess. Believe me, I'm sure she was acting with the best of intentions in mind. Yeah, right. You know the road to the Dark Realm is paved with those, right? Perhaps. It was definitely a serious lapse of judgment, one she will live to regret. Part of this comes from the fact that she's rather sheltered and inexperienced. After the sudden death of her older sister last year, she was thrust into the role of an heir very suddenly. That's right, the mysterious death of the firstborn Princess Zelda. Hyrule still grieves after the event of that day, and yet no one knows what exactly happened. In the void of information, conspiracy theorists run amok, people blaming the royal guards, Ashika, and even the king himself. Princess will soon have a whole kingdom's worth of troubles on her shoulders. For a kingdom with a history as turbulent as ours, it's a lot to handle. The princess conducts today probably won't help with the distrust some people have of the crown right now, though. She's wise beyond the years she will learn, and she will be better. I simply ask that you don't think of her as an enemy, whatever else of this trial, or whatever comes to this trial. She does not need more than she already has. Wow, she's so intense. I never expected to see Impa get so emotional. I guess all this is why she decided to take the blame for the princess's improvisation. Detective Impa. What is it, soldier? I'm quite busy at the moment, so please be quick. The investigation team back at the ranch just sent word of a new development. Something about milk shipments being returned to the ranch because of a wrong recipient address. They're asking you to come over to see it. Oh, those idiots. I don't have time for this. Send someone else. I have to escort the princess to the castle. Roger. That reminds me, though. I took this bottle of milk from a couple of guards who were slacking on the job earlier. Here, ranch girl, perhaps it'll help calm your nerves somewhat. Not to worry. It's still unopened. Oh, thank you. That's nice of her. Too bad for the guards, though. Now then, I believe the princess's carriage should be prepared by now. If you'll excuse me. Sigh. I'm so nervous right now. Milk just has lost its flavor. Huh? Lost its flavor? The long milk is always so tasty. Are you sure it's just nerves? Let me try some. Oh, it's just water? Huh? You're right. I assume this would have come from one of yesterday's shipments. Probably. With the investigation at the ranch, there wouldn't be any today, so maybe it just isn't fresh? No, I don't think so. It doesn't really taste as if it's gone bad. Also, the guard said that one of the yesterday's shipments was misaddressed, didn't he? And all this was handled by Ingo, wasn't it? I think there's something odd going on. I better make some notes about this in the court record. Defense, the court is about to reconvene. Escort your client back to the courtroom at once. So it comes down to this. The conclusion, conclusions approaching. Time to turn the situation around. Court is back in session for the trial of Milan and Lanlan Ranch. I trust that the prosecution's final witness is ready. Naturally, I have personally seen to it that there will be no foolishness this time around. Hopefully his ears are intact. As we discussed, for the recess, having established the opportunity and means for the defendant to have committed the murder, only one matter remains. The matter of motive, for naturally such a heinous crime couldn't be the result of mere happenstance. Prosecution believes that defendant had a deep desire that pushed her to patricide. Only witness can shed light on the matter now. Fascinating, very well. Please proceed. Prosecution calls the ranch worker Ingo to the stand. He's a little too happy. It's funny to see Mr. Ingo in such fancy clothes. Oh? Yeah, he's almost just wears his work. It's almost like something, or it's almost like looking at a different person. Well, I guess you want to dress up for court, and he wouldn't want to get his nice outfit dirty by working in it. Quiet defense. Witness, state your name and occupation. Your Honor, Great Honorable Prosecutor. My name is Ingo. I mind Long Long Ranch. Mind? What does that entail exactly? I'm mostly there to work on structures and equipment. The owners and his daughter are the ones who tend to the animals and take care of orders. How long have you been working at the ranch? It'll be several years at this point. There have been others who came and went, but I, Ingo, have persevered through all the hardships. Sounds like he wants a medal for it. Well, he does get a bit promise at times, but Mr. Ingo really is a great help. He built the ranch silo single-handedly. Whoa, that's some dedication. Very well, given that you're clearly an important employee, you are privy to some inside information, is that correct? Yes, the ranch owner shared all the big plans with me. He trusted me implicitly. He's doing the Fortnite dance. He used to say that we're like a big family. That sounds lovely. That sounds like a red flag that you're gonna be getting loads of unpaid overtime. Evidently, not every member of your so-called family felt the same way, though, did they? Hurts to do this, but I have no choice. Hear my story, Honorable Court of Law. Matter of motive. Just a couple days ago, the owner, Talon, partly signed the ranch over to his daughter, Milan. Talon became a life tenant, with Milan meant to inherit all of his assets after his death. As long as Talon lived, Milan could not sell the ranch. It's simple, isn't it? The girl killed Talon to get full ownership and leave the dingy ranch life behind. It's appalling how ungrateful she is after all Talon did for her. And there you have it. Testimony from the man who just lost everything. It's truly tragic to witness yet another family torn apart by greed. We have evidence, we have the defendant caught red-handed at the scene of the crime, and now we have a motive. Objection. How do we know he's telling the truth? Of course, verified the witness testimony. As per the law, all inheritance documents must be filed at the Castletown notary office to be considered valid. I saw fit to prepare this for the trial. The prosecution would like to submit the Long Long Ranch inheritance document into evidence. Mr. Ingo, why would you? You should pass judgment now, Judge. The defense has nothing. Objection. I'd like to cross-examine the witness. There are a few more details I feel are relevant. But of course, ask me like I, the hardworking Ingo, can prove it. Very well, defense, please begin. Matter of motive. How long ago was this exactly? 3-4 days? I'm not sure the exact date. Had it been planned for a long time? Talon was getting on it. Years better to take care of the matter sooner than later, eh? Milan, he is telling the truth. Father scheduled a visit to the notary office about a week ago. What do you mean by partly witness? So Milan didn't become the ranch owner yet. Of course not. Haven't you heard all the stories making rounds recently? So many ungrateful brats throwing their old folks into retirement homes the moment ownership signs to them. Talon was no fool. I myself convinced him that it was the safer option. If the girl was up for some chicken curries or whatever, he could have always reverted his decision. That's horrible, I'd never do that. As much as I'd like to believe that, you did much worse by killing him. Children these days, you feed them, you raise them, and they pull a stunt like this as soon as you give them an inch over yourself. I must concur, the younger generation is horrible. Why did he look at me while saying that? Anyways, what that meant was... Why would Milan sell the ranch right now? Why wouldn't she want to? Why would a pretty little girl like her want to work on some dingy ranch? She'd have it much better if she sold the place and used the money to move to Castletown. That's not true. I love working with the animals. I wouldn't leave them for anything. She's often slacking on the job while I, hardworking Ingo, had to cover for her. I guess the Deku nut doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say. At Talon, loved to sleep on the job too. Ho, I do recall a quite funny story about a Longline Ranch owner blocking the side entrance of Hyrule Castle for an entire day once. The guards couldn't wake him up. It took a particularly vocal Kuko, apparently. Ah, jeez. Well, there you go. I am the real reason why the ranch has such free ownership. Me, the hardworking Ingo. Link, that's not true at all. I know. How do we stop at this? Oh, hi Wolfie. Or something. How are you doing? Clark eating and watching. Sure. You really think Milan would go that far? I don't want to think about it. Clearly, the evidence speak for themselves, don't they? Why would she just wait a few more years then? Talon was getting older. Perhaps she knew more and more work would be piling onto her. That's the whole point of my second favorite, just being not as good as my first favorite. What do you mean? It's a 3-timer? Yeah. Oh no. But really, how am I supposed to know that? Ask her. Oh, that's well, great. Well, if Milan didn't want to work, she wouldn't have done this earlier. As Talon's only child, she'd still inherit the ranch. That's where you're wrong. For a long while, Talon planned to split the ranch between the girl and the crown. He was a patriotic man. He knew how much those horses meant to the royal guard. I wish he had changed his mind now. Is this true? Yes. Father's previous inheritance document did work that way. How admirable. I guess familial bonds won over this drive to help the kingdom. Truly a shame. Yes, naturally the girl wanted the whole thing, so she bided her time. I think this sufficiently explains the timing. Let's continue, shall we? Wait just a moment. There's one more problem with the timing that I'd like the witness to explain. Why would Milan have planned the murder for the day of the royal visitation specifically? More people means more witnesses. You'd think she would have chosen any other day. Oh, did I forget to mention this? I overheard Talon arguing with her that very morning. He was telling her he'd changed his mind again. He was planning to tell the king that he'd be signing the ranch over to the crown. After the visitation was over, he headed to the castle town to change the inheritance back to the original split. What? Can you give a rundown on the case for new viewers? New viewers being you, I'm assuming? I'm gonna watch a VOD later, but I need context now. Give me context. Well, long story short, I'm helping Milan help justify that she's not the one that murdered her father. Because, well, it did the thing that the Phoenix Wright games do where it's like a little cutscene at the beginning and then you just see Zelda walk in on Talon's dead body and Milan just unconscious on the floor with the knife in her hand or whatever. And I'm pretty sure I'm very close to the end. And there's 3 people on the ranch at the time, aside from Zelda. But Zelda was absolutely useless. Like, she just made up stuff. Like, actually. Just to seem like she was important. Zelda's dead? No, it's 100% Ingo. Despite the victim wishy-washiness, it appears he did make the right choice in the end. And because of that choice, if the defendant wanted to get the ranch, she had no time to waste that day. Is that true too? Absolutely not. Father wasn't planning to do that, and there was no argument either. What to do about this argument then? We're not bringing attention to it, maybe. I don't want to give Ingo a twisted version of the event any more of the spotlight than necessary. Alright, the defense would like to move on and discuss something else. Oh, and the way she was arguing with him really made me mad. It's appalling how grateful she is. No, you hold it. That man gave everything for her. She's gotten so many expensive presents over the years. Just look at that golden necklace she's wearing. That man spoiled her rotten. In fact, I think I saw another present he was meaning to give her on the very day he killed her. Another gift? Why yes, a little bottle of perfume, I believe. It's horrible. Talon was such a kind man. What happened to him is despicable. What was it last? Yes, added testimony. Your Honor, the defense wishes to add that statement about the perfume to the testimony. What are you doing? Trying to implicate the defendant even harder? I think it was an important detail. That perfume is irrelevant. But I suppose the prosecution has no objections to strengthening our case. Very well, witness. Please add what you just said to your testimony. Case attorney looks weird. Yeah, it's really cool. It's like that's like Zelda, but it's Ace Attorney. Where do you see this? What's up, Pluto? How are you doing? You're doing well. I think it was just lying around the ranch house. Talon probably intended to give it to Melon on the day that he was killed. You mean this witness? Why, yes, that's exactly it. Looks very expensive. If only Talon had spent as much on his salary for me, the hardworking Ingo. I get up and leave to do work at the break of dawn every day, you know. What's your relation with this guy anyway? Well, he's been employed and living with us on the ranch for as long as I can remember, really. You know, I don't think he's ever skipped a day of work thinking about it. Not a single one. Talk about dedication. But even so, something is very much off here. I'm doing right? Nice. Well, his lie is obviously the last one. Because the perfume bottle was meant for Zelda. Ranch gift for the princess. Witness. What is it? Just to confirm, you said that the bottle of perfume was bought for Milan by her father, correct? What else could it be for? I assure you, Talon wasn't the type to indulge in perfumes. Far from it. Well, you're wrong, witness. Oh, is that so? Was the ranch owner truly a perfume connoisseur? No, Your Honor. This bottle of perfume was bought for the princess. What does that have to do with anything? So what, defense? Sure, it's technically a contradiction, but what does the purpose of this bottle change? Yes, defense, I admit. I'm confused as well. Please explain why this point is important. Early in the trial, Milan mentioned that Talon bought this perfume in preparation last minute. Wasn't that right, Milan? It surely is. He had a gift for the king prepared when the news arrived that it was actually the princess making this visitation. Father quickly rode out into town to get a new gift. This info puts one thing into question. Not the princess's testimony. We already know that she's a liar. Talon's taste in gifts. I guess somebody's movements, maybe? So many movements around the ranch are put into serious doubt. Somebody's? Well, don't keep us waiting then, defense. Who is this person? Naturally, the person whose movements become suspect is Mr. Ingo. The witness himself. If you recall, this bottle of perfume, which had just been purchased, was found at the crime scene. A crime scene the witness supposedly never went to. He shouldn't have known about the bottle. Yeah, shit, he's right. Order. Defense raises a very valid point. You simpleton, what is the meaning of this? Well, witness, did you not go to the scene of the crime at any point? No, of course not. I didn't. I was working in the silo all day. I remember, I saw the gift the day before the crime. The girl's lying. Talon must have gotten the gift the day before. You're the one who's lying. Father didn't leave the ranch at all that day. One's word against another. Defense? Do you have any way to prove that your version of events is true? That's got receipts. Okay, when the milkshake dance was returned. Was it? Do you have any way to prove that your version of the events is true? I don't think finding the receipt would do anything, right? It's not like you could. I guess you could just ask the store, but I feel like that wouldn't really make sense in this court case. And it's definitely not smell the perfume. That doesn't really do anything for me. Usually dressed in work clothes, but he's dressed up nicely for court. Maybe because his actual work outfit's covered in blood. That's why he's not wearing his work outfit. But as for this first, feel like asking at the store would be the most obvious, but can't really do that at this moment. Sure, find the receipt. When you buy something, you usually get a receipt, and the receipt always shows the date of purchase. It might still be at the ranch house. I say we send someone out to look for it. While the room throws away receipts, we have a drawer full of them. The perfume one should be right on top. I believe this idea has some merits. Soldiers rush out to the ranch house immediately and search for the receipt. Your Honor? Yes? What is it, soldier? We have just received the receipt from the team stationed at the crime scene. Very well, thank you. I shall now read it out. There's a lot writing on this. From Tinkle's Mysterious Smells. Ah yes, I think we found... I think we've seen that store. It's that eccentric-looking place in the back alley. You couldn't miss the blinding neon colors if you tried. It's an utter eyesore. The call of this nobody running a monopoly on Hylian perfume is preposterous. Perhaps, but back to the matter at hand. The nerve of that dunderhead. Why would anyone ever shop at a store where the owner calls every other customer a fairy? Prosecutor? Ah, and the balloons. Ugh, the balloons. That fool popped one right in my face. Prosecutor Dragmire, enough. Continuing, on purchased item, 1 bottle of Rosy Rubyland. Oh, Jesus Christ. Not that game again. Oh my, this is quite... I didn't get to read it! Your Honor, please. The date of purchase? Ah yes, right. Date of purchase. Why, it's March 16th. The day of the murder. Gah! Not Tingle Rosy Rubyland again. I don't want to collect rupees again. Order. Yes, we got him. Here, I can finally get to it. I'm finally getting somewhere. It still doesn't mean anything. Perhaps the witness briefly went back to the ranch house for something and saw the bottle then. Yes, that's it. I was getting thirsty, so I went back to get a drink. I must have seen the bottle then. Oh, come on, you think we're gonna believe it? Do you have any proof that he didn't? Well, I believe this calls for a further testimony. As a witness now claims to have visited the crime scene shortly before the murder, we should learn of this exact movement that day, or if it's exact movement that day. My movements? Well, alright. There's not a lot to say though. It's unfortunate that he managed to weasel out of that. But this next testimony will be full of lies. This is my chance. My non-suspicious movements. As was already stated, I had volunteered to work in the silo. At one point, I briefly went back to the ranch house to get myself a glass of water. I went back to the silo right after that and stayed there until the courier came. I haven't been back to the ranch house at all since. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened, and wow, was the detective one fine woman. Jesus Christ. See, I haven't done anything to warrant suspicion. Eat my shoes, you brat. I'll pass. Has to be something wrong in there. You can't put a flawless story together that quickly. What were you doing? Working on shipments and fulfilling orders. We sent out crates of milk to milk bars all across the kingdom every day, you know. Milk bars. Naturally, everyone loves a good drink, you know. And our milk, renowned as the best there is. I hear some others water their down. Despicable. I see. I think you said earlier that your job is to work on the structures and equipment, though. Indeed. Talon and the girl would usually be the ones overseeing milk orders. However, since the royal visitation was happening that day, I felt they needed their minds unoccupied, so I took it upon myself to do it this time. After the murder, I got scared that Sheikah forced investigation would delay the shipment, and that I, the great Ingo, would get the blame. Thankfully, it all went through fine. Yeah, and you were so concerned with sending it off quickly that you wrote the wrong delivery address on it. Well, you Hylians, ridiculous. Getting tipsy from something like milk? Bet you cannot handle even a sip of the Grudo Noble Pursuit, a real man's drink. A real man's drink? Aren't most of the Grudos? Speaking of drinks, I believe the witness was talking about how he had gotten himself a glass of water. Yes, of course. Moving all that heavy stuff around works up a sweat, you see? I got very thirsty. I'll bite my back to You didn't think to just take a sip of milk you were handling? Or, no. It wouldn't be right. That milk was for the customers, you see? I just didn't want to get into any trouble. A truly honest man. How dare you suggest he would steal from his own workplace? Right, so you did see at the, so what did you see at the house? Nothing much. I got my drink and left. Still had a lot of work to do, you see. I suppose I must have seen the perfume bottle then. In fact, yes, I remember it clearly now. It was there on the table, plain as day. Muhaha. Great. What happened after that, witness? You were able to complete this so quickly on your own? You don't know the might of the great Ingo. Hut. Yeah. How? When? I get things done in no time. I did almost break my back getting those crates out of the silo, though. There were so many and all so heavy. It was like a puzzle in there. Anyways, that's not important. Point is, I'm built with. Okay. Are you sure? Sure as can be. Muhaha. You never went back in, even after the crime was discovered. Bah, they wouldn't let me in. Preserving the crime scene or some such, I couldn't even get any of my things. After I was questioned, no one gave me half a glance. I had to sleep in the stables that night. It was terrible. Is what he said just actually is important, because if they didn't let him get his stuff, he wouldn't have been able to change his clothing. Your Honor, I would like the witness to add his last statement to his testimony. What? What are you trying to pull now? Very well, witness, please amend your statement. Ah, fine, whatever. Couldn't you have stayed at an inn? What am I, made of money? Think, boy. I'm just a simple ranch worker, you know. Ugh, you lawyers always flaunting your wealth. Right, sorry. Not actually sorry, I doubt one night would have bankrupted this guy. Just look at what he's wearing. At some point, the detective came and told me what happened. Could you elaborate? Is that Kun? No, Kun's not a liar. She's a hardworking woman who gets to the point and takes what she wants. Not to mention her impeccable fashion sense. What's not to love? That's not the part I wanted him to elaborate on. Well, he seems totally smitten to her, or with her. Sure does. I wonder how Impa feels about it. Perhaps when this chore of a trial is done. But no, Alright, you'll have to wait. You thought you could distract me, did you? I, the genius ranch worker Ingo, see through your schemes. Not just no, Kun's always correct. He's correct and he's always telling the truth. He's sticking to that story, huh? Yeah. It was a desperate fix, but it holds up surprisingly well. I can hardly believe this is the same Mr. Ingo I know. He's usually so nice. Time to press for more details. Be sure to slow up somewhere. Must be a piece of evidence or profile waiting to disprove what he's saying. Yeah, sorry, they didn't let him get his stuff because, well, he wouldn't have changed outfits. I'm gonna sleep accessing my belongings. Think it's on his profile? Witness, there's something seriously wrong with your testimony. Oh, what? What are you talking about? You say you couldn't get any of your belongings because they were all at the ranch house, correct? A ranch house you were not allowed to go in. That's right. Well, that would imply you should still be wearing your work clothes. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but those don't look like work clothes at all. Easy, we got him. The defense has a point. The witness appears pretty well dressed for court. I can't imagine he would want to solely those clothes during work. Well, what do you have to say to that? Oh, of course. I can explain. It's simple. These are brand new, yeah. On my way to the courthouse, I went shopping for a nice new outfit. After all, I couldn't very well show up to the court dressed like a bum. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-ha. Jesus Christ. Yes, defense. Certain people have a modicum of respect for the court and show up dressed appropriately. What's that supposed to mean? This is my finest Zora suit. So you claim you bought these clothes after the crime, is that correct? Very much so. This morning, in fact. Why do I need to repeat myself? Do I accept an explanation? I guess, yeah. Defense accepts the explanation. Wait, no, I should have denied it. What am I doing? Damn it! I was supposed to say no. Because I misread it. I thought he was gonna, like, press further on why... on his... whatever. Accident and unfair... Sorry, I think it's a loss of heart. From the ranch, the testimony accepted both the prosecution and the defense. It is time to announce the verdict. But by honor, by no one could go as far as the client is really guilty. Damn it! I messed up! Here, actually, I can reconsider my stance for the witness. Motions once again wasting the court's valuable time with this circus act. Prosecution insists the defense will be penalized. Indeed, please consider your statement before making them. Now then, defense, the witness has explained that he brought the clothing this morning. Is there a problem? Naturally. Yeah, I meant to do no, because... yeah, whatever. I like how Link does Phoenix, right? Yeah, that shit's funny. I wish Eggmeyer did the table smack with his leg, though. Jesus Christ. You buying those clothes today is simply impossible. Ooh, what? Oh? How can you claim so? Defense, as you know, evidence is everything in court. Either prove that the witness couldn't have bought these clothes today, or get out. So it's this, right? It does have his name on top, though. He's the one that did inventory. How would he not have bought it today? Ah, the picture. Duh. He's wearing it. Okay. Easy. I would like to turn the court's attention to this. Why, this is one lovely pictograph. Ah, it reminds me of the Indirect, you can read it! What about this pictograph defense? Well, just look at what Ingo is wearing. This photo is from Alon's childhood, but Ingo is very clearly wearing the same outfit he has on right now. He couldn't have bought it today. Gah. Order, I will have order. Why, the defense is absolutely correct. I hope the witness has a good explanation for this. There. I think we finally got him. There's no way he can weasel out this time. Oh, unless someone weasels out for him. Isn't it obvious? Naturally, the witness knew he would need to wear his nice clothes for the royal visitation that was scheduled for that day. He brought them to the silo in advance so that he could quickly change just before the royal visitation arrival. Unless he sold it to the pawn shop and finally scrapped. No, I don't think that's what happened. Yes, of course, I needed to be presentable after all. Can't look like a bum in front of the most important people in the kingdom. Wait a minute. This is insane. What kind of kangaroo court is this? Prosecution keeps making excuses up on the spot. Ingo was clearly lying about buying the clothing before the trial. He's definitely trying to hide something. Your Honor, surely you won't accept this blatant perjury. Accept it, Judge. There can be no other explanation. Prosecution's explanation does seem plausible. What? Okay, but he just straight out lied. You're gonna accept that? Or the fact that the witness didn't simply say it himself and instead made up a lie about buying clothing is indeed very suspicious. When is Dragonmar going to throw coffee? Yeah, honestly, I was hoping that he would eventually. I was just thinking about that. Defense? Prosecution has posed that there is no other possible explanation for this contradiction. What is your opinion on the matter? Can the defense think of an alternative version of events? This is big. I really need to think this through. Am I doing a mind break? Ingo is acting really suspicious right now. He's desperately trying to patch up holes in his testimony to conceal his real motives or movements. Why would he be doing why would he be doing that? Ingo is the murderer. Okay. If not Melon, Ingo is the only other person who could have done this. I have to assume he did. If I want to think Melon is innocent, with that in mind, why would Ingo change out his work clothes? What happened to make it necessary? They got dirty, Talon's blood got covered on them. When Ingo killed Talon, his clothes must have gotten blood on them. He had to change into something else to hide his involvement. But then, wouldn't the Sheikah Forest have found the clothes in the house? Oh, he burned them. Could have thrown away in the fire. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That would explain why the fire left like an off smell because of the burning blood. That's it. That explains everything. I believe I can offer an alternative explanation. Nonsense. Judge, the defense spent far too long sitting in silence just now. They clearly have nothing. I call for a quick ruling. Objection. And not only can I explain it, but in fact, the defense formally accuses the witness of the murder. No! It's simple. the reason he had to swap his outfits and why he's been lying about the circumstances ever since is because it got stained with the victim's blood. Preposterous. If there were any discarded bloody clothing nearby, the Sheikah Force would have found them. We would be trying someone else for the murder right now. Why, you are absolutely correct, prosecutor. Huh? Naturally, Ingo couldn't have left his bloody clothes lying around, and so he used this to dispose of them. The oil. Your Honor, cast your mind to the princess's last testimony. The princess's... Ah, the mysterious fire. Surely you yourself made sure that we all know how meaningless her testimony was. And yet, with this new context in mind, it gains a completely new meaning. An empty bottle of lamp oil found by a burnt-out fire. Ingo used the lamp oil to quickly burn away his stained work clothes. Well, how about it, witness? My scenario explains everything. You killed Talon and then tried to hide it. This is... No, hold on. What, drivel are you spouting here, me? Kill Talon? You already know that's impossible. Too busy for murder. Everything you said is wrong. I have no idea what you're on about. I have an alibi for this. Or, yeah. I have an alibi for the time of the crime. I just couldn't have done it. There's no way I could have completed those milk shipments, killed Talon, and tried to hide my involvement. The fire was just made for a quick breakfast. There's no mystery there. Stop trying to pin this on poor, innocent Ingo. I already know which one to press him for, but I'm still gonna press him. Now, I shouldn't have to remind you, defense, but you yourself were surprised that Ingo was able to complete the shipments in time. Adding even more things for him to do in that time is preposterous. That's right, Great Ingo is efficient at his job, but not that efficient. No, it had to have been him, I'm sure of it. There must be some trick at play here, some kind of shortcut. I must find it. Yeah, you watered down the milk bottles. Too busy for murder. Surely my scenario is more plausible at this point than these panicked attempts to fix your story. What's more plausible isn't for you to decide, defense. It's the judge that makes the final call, and as long as this alibi stands, I can't imagine him siding with you. Yes, all those loose ends have been tied up before a decision can be made. Witness, please continue. Could you explain what the alibi is again? With pleasure. All the time of the crime, I was busy preparing that day's shipments of milk. That hard work, I barely had enough time to get them done before the courier came to take them. The shipments were inspected by the Sheikah Force as for they were leaving the ranch. And as for our resident detective has told us, they were found to be fully loaded up with bottles of milk. That's right. Sheikah Force itself has vouched for me. There's no way I could have been the culprit. I disagree, there has to be a way. There must be a way. Would it really have taken that long to murder someone and burn some clothes? It would have taken long enough to definitely make the scheme infeasible. Completing these shipments is a rather involved process. You have to milk the cows, clean the bottles, pour the milk into them, put them into the crates, and load them into the wagon. I love working with the cows, but that part takes the longest because you only get a little at a time. So, as Mr. Ingo said, the whole thing really does take a while. Father and I usually have to work together to get it done in time for the courier's arrival. There you go, defense. Your own client knows this is the unshakable truth. Because there's no way you could have completed the shipments and also the killing. In that case, we have there better be some way for him to finish the work faster. I just have to find it. Fire was Griffin, blah blah blah. So you had enough time for breakfast, but not enough to kill someone? Alright, yes, of course. The breakfast was cooking while I kept working, and then I quickly gobbled it up. There's no issue there. In fact, yes, I remember it even burned a little bit because I was completely paying attention to it. That way I had to go get that glass of water too. You see, I had to wash it down after. Well, a convenient little explanation, but for all I know, it actually did cook up a breakfast on a fire, burning blood-soaked clothes. You. Continue. Witness, we don't want to hear about your culinary adventures. Of course, of course. My point is what I've been telling you this whole time. 5 people who have done this were you and Malin. I know Malin well enough to know that she couldn't be the culprit. That leaves you as the perpetrator. Yes, yes, and by now we all know how much you value your friend. They remind you, though, that feelings don't matter at all here. Either show us solid evidence that puts Ingo's alibi into question, or concede defeat. Is there any way we could have done the work faster? I'm not sure. It would be nice if there was, though. I could sleep in a little bit longer every day. Yeah, you'd think that you would have shared it with you if he knew of one. Just what shortcut did Ingo use? There's no way I could have completed those shipments, killed out, and tried to open it up. That'd be this one. Fish shipment, but brought up to me and stuff like that. Oh, but you did though. Did you really complete those shipments properly? Vince, I shouldn't have to remind you that the Sheikah Forest checked the boxes thoroughly. They were definitely full of milk bottles. Oh, I'm sure of it. Look that way. What are you getting at, defense? Here you go, Your Honor. Huh? Milk for me? Are you trying to bribe the judge now? I didn't think you'd stoop so low. The Crown will be informed of this. Oh, it's nothing like that. All I'm asking is that His Honor try tasting the milk. Just one little sip. This is highly irregular. But to be honest, I could use a drink. All this talking does make one's throat dry, you know. Yeah, it's true. You probably talked the least out of everyone here, though. Since the defense insists, I'll go ahead and take a sip. Is this what passes for milk these days? This almost tastes like water. Hydrate, sure. Water? I have to agree. This is definitely not standard milk. As we've heard from the princess and the detective, Long Long Ranch is renowned for the quality of its products. But there's no way people would say that about milk this lousy. Well, whatever. As if the unwashed masses would know the difference between quality and garbage. Where are you going with this, defense? It's simple, you see. I received this bottle from Detective Impa still unopened during the first recess. As we know, there were no milk shipments today, so this must have come from the ones Ingo shipments from yesterday. It's true that Ingo couldn't have murdered Talon and also completed the shipments on his own, unless he cheated. Ingo watered down the milk to get the shipments done in time. Order, order. Yes, I suppose that would work. Indeed, all he did Or all you had to do is milk fewer of the cows to save enough time without ruining the taste too much. I guess he used about a 50-50 split of water and milk. This is... No. That's... Talon. Let me stop you right there. Let me break it down for you. I'll concede that something odd happened to that shipment. But all that you have proven is that Ingo is a slacker. How dare you? Be quiet, you mongrel. Sure, Ingo watered down the milk. That doesn't make him a killer, though, does it? Well, no. But now we know that he definitely couldn't have done it. We know that he did go to the crime scene. And we know that he did have the time and opportunity to kill Talon as well. Yet there's a vital element missing still. Let me put it in simple terms so even an idiot like you can understand. Arbutal. The murder weapon. You lack the murder weapon. If Ingo's murder, then it couldn't have been the saw. If Ingo was the murderer, then it couldn't have been the saw. Did I pass him on that? And why is that? It's simple. If the girl's story about working on the fence is true, then she would have used the saw while her father was being murdered. They couldn't have been in two places at the same time. Do I agree with this? Fan app? Listing. They do have one saw, actually. But Ingo is the one that did inventory, so he could have lied about it. They couldn't have been in two places at the same time. I mean, I guess, yeah, that's true. I believe we're in complete agreement at this point. You do realize the problem that creates for you, right? I'm sure it can all be explained. As if. But very well. Then let's move on to why nothing else could have been the murder weapon either. Where would you suppose the other weapons even come from? Where do you think the other supposed to I mean, they have knives, they have axes. There's like plenty of weapons. What do you mean? They have a scythe? Ranch inventory, I guess. They've forgotten this murder happened on a ranch. There are plenty of sharp things on site. Oh, that's simply impossible. I mean, it's impossible. What's up, Mary? How are you doing? I'm doing well. We checked all sharp objects on the ranch and searched everywhere. No fresh blood was found anywhere else. Couldn't Ingo just have... He used a different weapon. What could he have done? He could have hidden it, but they said they already searched the ranch. Same thing with disposing. I guess he could have wiped it off on his clothing too, maybe. He used the ripped tire. Yeah, he probably did actually. Make full custom design 2D, 3D, model. Oh no, thank you, Mary. I'm not interested in stuff like that. I like making my own stuff. Could Ingo have just... What could he have done? He could have done all of these, but which one makes the most logical sense? We checked all sharp objects on the ranch and searched everywhere. No fresh blood was found anywhere else. Couldn't Ingo just have hidden it, disposed of it, wiped it off? Queen of blood. Supposedly she wiped the saw queen with this. We could have done any of these. You could have hidden it in the silo, maybe. Because what else could it... You can't really dispose of it. You'd have to hide it. Think. Yeah, sure, hidden it. Couldn't Ingo just have hidden it? Kingdom's best investigators are on the case. We found no signs of anything buried on the premise. Even if Ingo skipped part of his work, he still wouldn't have had time to hide anything very far from the ranch. Maybe an idiot, but do you really think he would have risked the weapon being found? That is true, I guess. Listen here, silence. Well, I guess that is a good point. I may have to rethink this. Couldn't Ingo just have... Like I said, I guess he could have just wiped it off his clothing, maybe? Or burned the cloth that he used to clean it too, maybe? Couldn't go just have wiped it off. Blood leaves traces, it's not that easy to get rid of. What do you mean? The saw is clean of blood. People like us just aren't so sensitive, but others being like the Zoras can easily tell by smell. Actually, they should force employees, people for just this task. Also, as long as the ranch focuses on selling horses and milk, the animals there aren't regularly butchered. So there's no good reason why any of the tools would have fresh blood on them. Any such implement would have stood out like a sore thumb. I guess you could have just disposed of it. You need to dispose it in some way. It's impossible, you see. We checked all sharp object, blah blah. No items from the ranch's inventory list were missing. That list is indisputable. I mean, again, he's the one that did it, so he could have easily faked it or put like false things. But I don't know if I should press him on that, I think, right? How can you be sure the inventory is accurate? Use your head. There was a revisitation scheduled for the day. Ranch owners needed everything to be in order. He would have doubled, even triple checked that list when he wrote it. Suppose he would have, but... Thing is, he's the one that wrote it. Do I like press? Do I... And he just said that it would have been hard to clean off blood. So... What? No items from the ranch's inventory list were missing, and that list is indisputable. Keep a regular wound from that sharp metal object, it can die at plus loss. I almost want to just... I almost want to just do a saw, but... I guess I'll just do this. Inventory list itself is false, though. Fascinating. What exactly makes you question the veracity of this document? That would be something about the inventory itself. Another piece of evidence, something about the inventory itself. I mean, everything looks fine, I guess. Other than one saw. And if this is clean of blood... Something about the inventory itself. It's simple, you only need a brief look at the inventory to see it can't be trusted. Oh, you can't just go around making such general statements. Defense. Point out exactly what the inventory makes it suspicious. Phew. Just look here. The one who compiled this list was Ingo himself. He could have easily falsified the count as part of his plan. Oh, now we got him. That doesn't matter. Maybe he has trained pet wolfos to slaughter a talent returned home by a command. No, I don't think so. Nothing could have left the ranch. Would Ingo have been able to just throw the item out over the fence? Obviously, we searched the perimeter of the ranch as well. Nothing was found anywhere. The most important point has nothing really been able to leave. Nothing could have left the ranch. That is not true, as that has left the ranch, but that was already searched, so I don't think it would be a good thing to testify or present, but I'll do it anyways. This piece of evidence, I've won the argument. If I don't see the Yeah, I figured that didn't make sense. That is irrelevant. Nothing could have left the ranch. Nothing could have left the ranch. I already pressed him on it, right? What do you say? You're just gonna just throw it over? Yeah, okay, yeah. Nothing could have left the ranch. I mean, Engo could have left the ranch himself. Does that really count, though? So I don't think anything else physically could have left. At least that makes sense. Yeah, sure. No, that's not it. What do I think of this statement, Your Honor? What do I think of it? What do you ask? Well, I have this evidence here. Don't listen to the judge. The evidence has nothing to do with what's being discussed. Oh, don't worry, I knew that. Attorneys always seem to ask what I think when they have no idea what they're talking about. Damn it! Okay, I gotta think this out. Nothing could have left the ranch. Keep a regular wound made from a sharp object. Oh wait, did I do the wrong one? I think I did the wrong one. I think I'm supposed to do this one. But again, they were already inspected, so I don't think it's it, but I think my point is that something did leave the ranch anyways. Fairly sure that nothing left the ranch. What about a few little shipments of milk? Prosperous, have you forgotten that such shipments had been checked by the Sheikah Forest before they were allowed to leave? That's true, but there was a place the Sheikah couldn't overlook. Or could have overlooked. What in Din's name are you blabbing about? We're talking about bog standard crates here, boy. Not exactly vast dungeons full of nooks and crannies to stuff things into, are they? Where could they have missed a murder weapon? It's simple, they overlooked. What did they overlook? Not the content, the crate itself, I guess? Could the crate itself be a murder? Hold up. Not the contents of the bottles, that didn't make sense, but contents of the bottles, that would make sense. Contents of the crates, they already checked, so crates themselves? I don't know. The killer used a big chunk of wood to kill the victim and then nailed it to the crate. Okay, that's clearly not it. The weapon was definitely metal. No stray bit of lumber could have created a wound like that. Plus, if the weapon was wooden, he would have burned it together with his clothes and sure he would never find it. Hence, the entire argument hinges on this point, you know. Try to think up your answer carefully next time. Okay, yeah, it's contents. It's simple, they overlooked the contents of the crates. Yeah, sure. The murder weapon was just left in one of the crates between the milk bottles. Do you really consider the Sheikah that incompetent? That would have been the first place to check. Besides, do you think the murderer would have risked something that obvious? Perhaps not then. Depends, your entire argument hinges on this point, you know. Try to rethink your answer, but okay, it's GG. I guess he did hide it inside the milk bottle. Okay. I mean, they use 50-50 and all quarter go through, so they suck the job. Well, I didn't think that that would make sense, because if he puts it in the bottle, that would have been like blood inside the bottle still. What? Whatever. Alright, we tried our best. Yeah. Black murder weapon, if you go to murder, then it can have been saw. I forgot what it was express. Apparently milk shiv, yeah. Where would this supposed other murder weapon have even come from? I think it was ranch inventory. Check objects in the ranch, search everywhere, no fresh blood was found anywhere. I think this is press or... Oh no, it's supposed. Damn it! Disposed of it. Is it? Transfer match inventory is missing. Oops. kind of cool. You could like point also, like in the games. I think could have left the ranch. And I messed up 2 hearts because of me doing this one first, and then I did what? I did another one after that one. That's true, but there's a place Chica could have overlooked. Simple, they could have overlooked the contents of the bottles. There's one place inside the crates that the Chica could have checked, or couldn't have checked thoroughly without ruining the shipments. That's right, Ingo put the murder weapon inside one of the bottles to conceal it from the search. That does seem plausible. I would assume they would have already done the search. I assume they would have checked all of the bottles, I guess not. Now wait just a moment. A weapon in a milk bottle wouldn't just go unnoticed. Someone would have reported it. That's what I'm saying. How could you be so sure? Do you even know how much milk an average milk bar uses each day? Bottles are filled with milk. I mean, yeah, but if you combine it's 50% water, 50% milk, and like blood off the murder weapon, it would have been like red. That's why I assumed that it would have been seen. But I guess not. I guess magically it's not filled with milk and it's just the weapon. Which again would also stand out, but whatever. All those shipments have most certainly been completed or completely used up by now. Someone drinking from the bottle would have been found in it for sure, choked on it even if they took too large a swig. It would be a huge scandal. Well, he's right about that, but he's missing one vital information. A weapon in a milk bottle and just go unnoticed. Someone must have reported it. Oh, went to the wrong address. Yeah. You'll be correct that the weapon showed up in someone's milkshake would cause quite the stir. If the milk ever actually made it to any milk bar, that is. I see I overheard a very interesting tale during the recess. Word was sent from the ranch not long ago that one of the shipments was returned unopened due to being misaddressed. What? No. Indeed, if you recall, Ingo was the one who handled all of that. Now that's strange. The ranch supplies the same milk bars every day. Even if he had messed it up, the street address a little, the couriers would have known where the shipments was meant to go. How could he have bungled it that badly? It's almost as if he didn't want anyone receiving a bottle of milk with a murder weapon in it. I bet Ingo expected this box to stay in shipment limbo a while longer. Unfortunate for him that the postal service was on its game today. Maybe because they worried it'd start to smell. I believe this calls for us to investigate these boxes of milk more closely. Soldiers have these boxes retrieved from the ranch immediately. Argument complete. Oh, hell yeah. Grrr, grrr. This is slander. Why would I kill Talon? Sure, he's a he's a bit of a layabout, but he did give me a job. Why would I want him dead? The motive? That's simple. Why, I'm surprised you're even asking about it. Evidence easily explains your motive. Malon will inherit the ranch if she's unable to divide the deed between the crown and its remaining employees. I guess, yeah, that. Can we get a Gerbelp? What? The very inheritance document you brought to the court attention states the following. In case of a testifier's death, his daughter, Malon of Longland Ranch, will inherit the ranch, unless she's unable to oversee it, in which case it shall be divided between the crown and the remaining employees. Ah. Oh, you're talking about Blurp the sound redeem thing. Maybe, I don't know. What? You not only killed Talon, but decided to frame Malon for the crime as well, so you would be the one to inherit part of the ranch. That's why you volunteered to work in the silo that all day. It gave you an alibi so that Malon would be the only possible culprit. Of course, you knew all about the royal visitation in advance. You knew Malon would go back to the ranch house to prepare it before they arrived. A perfect setup for the royals to find her next to the body. No, no, no! What are you talking about? Talon signing the ranch over to me? Preposterous. Did he really not know? I guess it was Dragmire who procured the actual document, not him. Your Honor? What is it, soldier? The box you requested is here. Already? That was quite fast. Apparently, a team at the ranch had already noticed something awry with one of them. The box arrived just as we were about to rush out at the courier to deliver our message. Well, 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 let's see for ourselves then, shall we? The part of the shipment that proves my case is... Oh, I don't know, maybe this one. Here it is from the bottle with a slight red tint to the milk. You have way more than a slight tint, red tint. Looks like some kind of serrated knife. That explains the irregular wound pretty nicely. How could the Sheikah idiots have missed this? I'm sure the milk was pure white when they first checked it. It took a whole day for blood to dissolve in it. That is not true. Either way, no matter how you slice it, this proves my theory right. Grrr. Oh, I've had it. Fine, fine. You want to know why? You want to know why I really killed that scumbag? No. No, what are you? So you admit it? Yes, I admit it. What would you do if one day after years of backbreaking labor, despite putting all into the ranch, you were thrown away like rubbish, without any reason? Fired. Farewell. We don't need you anymore. What? But that doesn't make any sense. Ho ho, don't lie. I heard it all. I was just returning back from another day of spine-wrecking work, and lo and behold, what's this? Malon and Talon are talking behind my back? I heard it all. We'll let him go after the visitation. We can handle things without him. And so, after volunteering to work on that shipment, I quietly slipped out while the girl was busy and shanked the good-for-nothing slacker. Ha, you should have seen his face. He didn't expect it at all. So yes, Malon, I killed that lazy bum you called a father. And he deserved it. That's all it took, yeah. Getting fired? Order. The witness will seize this posting over a terrible deed. I think we've heard enough. Soldiers, take him away. Hold it. Just wait a moment. Ingo. Yes, girl? Want to apologize for what you've done? Apologize? Me? You're horrible. We weren't planning to fire you at all. You completely misunderstood what we were saying. What? It's probably talking about like a horse or something. We've had so much work recently. Well, you know how it goes with the royal visits. Always a busy time. Gotta make sure everything's in tip-top shape. I do worry somewhat about old Ingo, though. He's been complaining about his back recently. Do wish he'd take a step back and relax sometime. Maybe we should convince him to take a vacation. Oh, okay, that's even worse. Well, now there's an idea. It'll do him good to just get him out there. I'll discuss it with him after the visitation. After things calm down, we can handle everything without him. Damn. Not even getting fired, just assuming people are gonna fire you. Yeah. That's... You. You were planning... What? A vacation for me? And I did... No. No, it can't be so. Please say it isn't so. Chicken. What is happening? And case closed. We have witnessed today the result of a truly horrifying misunderstanding. But misunderstanding or not, what you have done is unforgivable. Talon was a kind man, beloved by all who had good fortune to cross his path. His loss will be felt not only at his ranch, but all across Hyrule. The killer turned out to be an utterly pathetic man with delusion of grandeur. I mean, look at him. An utter idiot dressed like a clown. Jeez, he's really laying it into him. I bet he's just upset because he lost. Prosecution's rant aside, I think it is time to declare today's verdict. This is just a formality, but will the defendant please step up to the stand? Throw coffee at young miss, I am very sorry for the situation you have found yourself in. I'm very glad you appear to have such a good attorney as a friend. I wouldn't have chosen anyone else. Ah, thanks. Now then, without further ado, in the name of the goddess Hylia and the sacred land of Hyrule, I hereby find Alon of Lon Ranch not guilty. Easy. Court is adjourned. Yeah, easy. Didn't fail once. March 17th, 12:32 p.m. Okay, Nick. No, there's only one case. I think. We did it. I suppose so. We did what Buster couldn't, yeah. But, I mean, this one was a lot simpler than the other case he was on. I kind of forgot what it was about. I guess Ingo's outburst kind of soured the mood, huh? I don't think I can ever forgive Mr. Ingo for what he's done. That's fair enough, honestly. Really, though, you shouldn't think about that for now. You're free, it's time to celebrate. I guess you're right. Excellent work. I knew you'd pull through. Oh, thanks. I couldn't have done it without you, really. So, thank you. No, that's not quite right. If you want to thank someone, I'm not the one who deserves it the most. Huh? Your Highness? I thought you were going back to the Hyrule Castle. What strings did Impa have to pull to get her here? I was, but I realized I should apologize for what I did personally. It's an honor. There is no need to bow. Not after what I have done. Really, if not for my status, I would have probably been carted off to prison alongside that angry little man. Preacheries, huh? Pretty serious, so that's probably not entirely wrong. As usual, you don't give yourself enough credit, Your Highness. How can you say that, Detective? I almost condemned an innocent person to prison. Yes, there are some things you should think twice about doing in the future. But it's all thanks to you that the young lady over there here is finally went free. Huh? Come on, attorney, show Her Highness what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, the lamp oil. Send Wolfie to the gulag? Yeah, I should. The bottle. Well, it's true. Without this, and without knowing about the fire, we wouldn't have had any proof to substantiate our claims. And, really, you're obviously false testimony. I'm gonna read it. Impa just stepped on my foot. Well, there you have it. In any case, I'm sure Miss Milan isn't too upset. Well, sure. Ten Hut. We have orders to escort the princess back to the castle immediately. Just in time. Farewell, Your Highness. And so they left. Now then, listen to me. I know that I am perhaps being too lenient on the princess, but tough times are ahead. The princess will need all the confidence she can get to lead the kingdom through them. She needs to learn to take responsibility for her actions too, though. And she will. Huh? Her Highness is in for a rather unpleasant afternoon today, I imagine. The urgency in which she has just been escorted out of here isn't coincidental. What, is the king going to scold her? Fight table to the death. At the very least. Now then, my duties call, unfortunately, so I must be off. Again, you did very well today, both of you. I trust that I will be able to rely on you in the future court proceedings as well. I'll try my best. That's all I ask. That unpleasant prosecutor seems to be making his way over here, so I'll be excusing myself post-haste. Farewell. Uh-oh. You. Hello, nice day we're having, isn't it? Tell me, now. Where did that blasted detective go? You have my reputation tarnished this way by some novice attorney from the boonies. Dramatic much? He looks like he's about to burst from anger. Don't be such a sore loser. You lost. Deal with it. Yeah, we got the right verdict. Doesn't that even make you a little bit glad? Yes. I suppose there's some worth in that. What transpired is most unfortunate. I can only offer my condolences. Just remember that it was the meddling of the idiotic princess and that stupidity of that blasted detective that led to your arrest. So, if you have any grievances, take it up with them. I suppose there's some truth to what he's saying. Speaking of detective, it appears she has fled from the court like a cuckoo on fire. Mark my words, she will regret what she's done for generations. Well, that sure was something. I don't know if he was being sincere or just wanted to shift blame onto someone else. I wouldn't say he's entirely blameless. Never mind that, you know, you'll be alright running the ranch by yourself. Or do you think you'll be fine? Of course, I'll come visit, but I have my attorney duties too. I'll get in touch with the castle, see if they can spare some men to work at the ranch. Silly as my father was, it seemed he really did prepare me to take over one day, and he's taught me well. I'll make sure the animals are well cared for, just as I always have. That's the spirit. I believe in you. I really want to thank you for bringing the truth to light. If it wasn't for you, I don't even want to think what could have happened. Don't mention it. I'm just glad everything worked out in the end. And so ended a very personal case for me. It felt like a weight had been lifted off my back. Milan continued working at the ranch, hoping to make it prosper even beyond what her father was able to accomplish. I didn't really think much about it, but the days following were some of the happiest I lived for the longest. Little did I know that a terrible tragedy would soon shock the entire kingdom, and I'd find myself smack dab in the middle of it. But that's a legend for another day. Nice. Alright, can't wait for part 2. Also, where's my timer? Let me pause it. A little over 3 hours. Not bad. That was really fun. That's kind of crazy how, like, 1-to-1 this played to actual Phoenix Wright games. Isn't that those one things from, isn't it Spirit Tracks? The stupid Eskimos? I'm surprised they even modeled that out. That's kind of crazy. They didn't have to. Visuals and dialogue was fun. Yes. Send his ass to jail. Prison for life. Just like you, Wolfie, if you don't behave. And here's Ganon shredding on the piano. I've been so normal today. Yeah, as you should, every day. Stupid Zelda. Like, Zelda was just an absolute brat in this. Zelda's gonna be a killer in part 2. Maybe. You never know. Oh, there's a cat. An actual 64 cat. Yeah, it's Willow. And you for playing. Thanks. That was really fun. Well, Now what? Stream ending? Yeah. Now it's end of stream time. Sacrifice chatter, Wolfie? That's fine. What are your final words, Wolfie? EP time? Maybe. Alright, no final words? Alright. Don't sacrifice me? That's not how it works. Anyways, that was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I haven't played the Ace Attorney games myself. I saw Buster play them, but it looked like it played 1-to-1, so that was really cool this way. I'm not gonna raid anybody. It'll just be scary offline screen time. Maybe if I was live, because I could raid and run, but everyone else, I kind of feel bad doing that. So, just offline screen time. I'll figure out what to stream tomorrow. I do want to start, like, a series of sorts, or do something other than just, like, map rando and then something else. Maybe... Definitely not the RE games. And maybe eventually. Because I had a cool idea in my head, and I also found out that the arm heart rate monitor is worse than the chest one we have, which I guess makes sense because it's closer to your heart anyways. But the wrist one is more expensive, which I thought would be better, but no. Apparently the chest one's much better. It has lower latency and more accurate readings. But it's like far cheaper too. But I was thinking about like doing something with that and somehow getting ChatGPT to implement something within the RE games. Like say if my heart rate gets like as high as like 110 or something, like the character just automatically dies. That'd be badass. I'm sure ChatGPT can implement it though. I'll try to figure that out. I'm sure it's possible. That'd be so cool. Play RE at an inconvenient time for Brownie. I should. But I'm probably not gonna play too soonish? Probably eventually. I'm more likely to play like something random. Like, I doubt Pikmin, but maybe Pikmin eventually. I doubt it. I don't know, I'll think of what I want to play tomorrow. There's still plenty of Zelda ROM hacks I haven't played. There's other games I haven't played. Like in that one poll I made like a week ago. I did Spooky Jump House. I did this. This was one of the options. I forgot what other options I had, but stuff like that. How about Overwatch? I think I did fix it. I think. It doesn't stutter. At least I don't think it did. But no. Maybe for like special occasions. Special occasions being never. I don't know. I'll have to see what I want to play. But anyways, that is it. Offline screen time. Wolfie, get out of here. Go play League or something. And Buster, I'll see you in like a few minutes, and we might do something later, Firebird. I'll see with Buster right now. And any of us in chat, watching, chatting, lurking recently, whether on Twitch or YouTube, I appreciate it. Alright. Later on. And I agree with that statement about Wolfie.